Hello and welcome to this special edition of Arirang News. I'm Daniel Che. June 25, 1950, the war that divided the nation in two broke out. To remember that fateful day and the sacrifices made to ensure South Korea became the globally recognized powerhouse it is today, a special ceremony is being held at the Changchun Arena here in Seoul. We will connect live to the venue for the 72nd Korean War Commemorative Ceremony shortly. It will be attended by the nation's Prime Minister Han Duck-soo. He will be joined by Korean War veterans as well. When North Korea invaded South Korea, it was supported by China and the Soviet Union, and South Korea was supported by the United Nations, principally the U.S. Various other countries sent troops as well. The fighting ended with an armistice on 27th of July, 1953. Today's commemorative event will feature performances by the military band and honor guards. A merit medal award ceremony will be held as well to honor the heroes that helped preserve the democracy and freedom we enjoy today. The Prime Minister will take to the podium to give a commemorative address on this important day in Korean history as well. The preparations are being ready at the venue. We have various events prepared as we mentioned. We will be beginning the event shortly. We will be connecting to you live at the venue where the special event to mark the historic day in Korean calendar will be held. It is at the Changchun Arena in Seoul. To remind you again where it is being held, this is a very special edition of Arirang News, and for a change from previous years when the pandemic prevented the event from being held freely, this time it will be back to normalcy to a certain degree at the event venue, with people allowed in the event venue. And of course, there will be various safety protocols prepared to ensure that the COVID-19 measures are being adhered to a certain degree. There are announcements made within the venue to adhere by the special rules. And once again, we remind you that this is a special edition of Arirang News to bring you the live coverage of the 72nd Korean War Commemoration. Let's go straight to the venue right now.
Now, Prime Minister Han Duck-soo is entering the venue alongside the President of the Korean War Veterans Association, representative of the Korean War Veterans, representative of the bereaved families of the UN, Korean War Veterans, Minister of Veterans Affairs and National Defense, and Commander of the UN Command. Please give them a big hand.
모두 자리를 정돈해 주시기 바랍니다.
Please be seated. Today's Republic of Korea is a miracle that we're thankful for. It is the pride of the soldiers who advanced towards the enemy lines amid shelling, leaving behind their loved ones, of the student soldiers who had guns in their hands instead of pens, female soldiers who headed towards the battleground not as one's mothers and sisters but as fighters, and of the UN war veterans who fought side by side with us to safeguard peace in a country located afar. Remembering some 170,000 Korean and UN war veterans who have not been able to return to their loved ones, we sincerely want to hope that they can fly back to their proud country as butterflies for the Korean War. Today we hold a performance dedicated to them. Let us now begin the event. All of the moments were like hell. It is a miracle for me to just be alive. There was a saying that you come alive, but you leave dead. There were 7,000 of shelling, and we were able to safeguard the high fields, and we believe that we were very courageous. I'm very sorry for able to live by myself and survive alone, for not able to come out with you all.
피로 물든 산악, 수많은
The mountains that were
고지에서
in the mid of bloodshed, in the high hills,
바다에서
in the sea,
하늘에서
and in the sky.
목숨을 바쳐
There
대한민국을
were many
사수했던
people who have safeguarded the Republic of Korea, sacrificing their lives. There are 175,801 people.
이 땅을 지키기 위해
To
선호하신
safeguard the country, there were many people who sacrificed their themselves, and we shall remember
호국나비
them individually. And these are the butterflies of the Korean War.
영원할 것입니다.
We have memory and honoring for eternally.
조국을 지켜낸 호국의 영웅께
National defense heroes,
전쟁의 장막을 뜯어내기
to seek an
위해
end to the war,
내 나라,
to
내
safeguard
가족
my country and my family.
저 박음질된 별을 향해
You have fired
총탄을
ammunitions against the stars up in the sky,
비처럼 떨어지는
under the
별똥별 아래
ceaseless shooting stars,
이영만리를 건너
and under
피끝으로
the
채색된
ballistic
하나의
helmets tainted with blood.
얼마나 숨죽여
How many
울어야
times
했습니까?
have you have to weep quietly?
진창 속에서 총신의
You had to
열기를
endure
운기삼아
through the mud with the
겨우살이를 하던
heat of the gun barrel.
일순 생명부지의 누군가와 전우가
You
되고
who
적이
know
되는
how to embarrassingly smile in front of your family members
가족 앞에서
instead of
멋쩍은
giving them
미소를 지을 줄 아는
twisted
그대는
smiles you made in the battle
그의
line,
마음속에 셀 수 없을
where
만큼
you
많아서
become either a comrade or enemy with an
지워지지가
utter stranger.
않습니다.
You cannot be erased from our hearts.
잊을 수
You cannot
없습니다.
be forgotten.
탄피를 약처럼
Your
삼키며
traces and footprints,
한 발,
looking after the
한 발.
remains of your comrades by
전우의
swallowing
잔해를 더듬어가던
empty shells
당신의
as
그
if they were
발자국과
pills,
그대
as well
남몰래하던
as the
절규를
silent
끌어모아
cries,
우리는 여기에
have enabled
다다랐습니다.
for us to come this far.
십수만의 노병이 몰아치는 숨김을 타고
The butterflies took no rest in coming here through the breath of tens and thousands of aged soldiers
나비도 쉬지 않고
and through the
이곳까지
sound that is
날아왔습니다.
quieter and slower than a gunshot.
이제 내 마음속
The wing
녹슬어가는
you
철조망을
wished
뜯어
to unfold one day by
당신이
breaking the
언젠가
rusty
펼쳐있던
barbed
나래를
wires will
후장처럼
now
우리의
be
가슴에
engraved
새기려 합니다.
deeply in our hearts today,
당신께서 꽂은 자유와
so
평화의
that the
태극깃발
태극기 flag of
그리고
liberty
혁명
and
색색의
freedom
나비가
that you have
온
grounded
세상에
and the
흩날리도록.
colorful butterflies can fly throughout the
그대여,
world. To you,
우리는 작게나마
we give you
이곳에서
our
숨김을
breath.
보탭니다. 평화와 안녕이 깃든
so that it can
그곳에 닿을
reach
수
where
있도록
there is peace and
그대
well-being,
편히 잠들 수
so that you
있도록
can rest in eternal
나라,
peace.
우리가
This
지켜나가겠습니다.
country will be safeguarded by us.
충성!
Salute.
6.25 전쟁 제72주년 행사
I am the
섭외를
host
맡은
of the
육군 중사
72nd Korean
조다니엘입니다.
War Commemoration Army Sergeant Cho Daniel.
해군 중사 김다연입니다.
And victory, I am Navy Chief Petty Officer
오늘
Kim
6.25
Dayon.
전쟁
Today's 72nd Korean War Commemoration is aimed at honoring the sacrifice of the Korean War veterans who have safeguarded the Republic of Korea. It has also been prepared with the appreciation for the UN war veterans who have come from afar to sacrifice for our country. Today we are also joined by not only Korean Army veterans but also UN war veterans. In front of them, we present our commitment to continue to safeguard the robust peace and prosperity on the Korean Peninsula. Without further ado, let us now commence the commemoration event.
먼저 참전국
Firstly,
국기입장이
flags
있겠습니다.
of the war veteran countries. The flags are in the order of the arrival of the dispatched combat troops and medical assistants, followed by the UN flag as well as the
모두
taegukgi.
자리에서
Please
일어서
rise from your
국기를
seats to
맞아주시기
greet
바랍니다.
the flags.
참전국 국기 입장.
Entering of the flags.
미국,
The United States of America,
영국,
the United Kingdom,
호주,
Australia,
네덜란드,
the Netherlands,
캐나다,
Canada,
프랑스,
France,
뉴질랜드,
New Zealand,
필리핀,
the Philippines,
튀르키예,
Turkey,
태국,
Thailand,
남아프리카 공화국,
the Republic of South Africa,
그리스,
Greece,
벨기에,
Belgium,
룩셈부르크,
Luxembourg,
에티오피아,
Ethiopia,
콜롬비아,
Colombia,
스웨덴,
Sweden,
인도,
India,
덴마크,
Denmark,
노르웨이,
Norway,
이탈리아,
Italy,
독일,
Germany,
지금 유엔기와
and now the
태극기가
UN
입장하고
flag and
있습니다.
taegukgi are
여러분
entering
큰
the venue.
박수로 맞아주시기
Please
바랍니다.
give them a big hand.
북한의 침략에 맞서 대한민국을
We've now seen
수호한
the flags of the
자유와
proud
평화를
22
사랑하는
nations that have took part in the war to safeguard the liberty and peace of the country against the invasion of North Korea. Next, the allegiance to the flag. Please face the flag in front of you. The Pledge of Allegiance will be read out by Ryu Jae-sik, Korean War veteran, Kim In-sup from the family of a Korean War veteran and whose 3 generations are all members of the White Bone Unit, Army Captain Park Seung-lee, a descendant of a Korean War veteran.
국기에 대하여 경례.
Salute the flag.
자랑스러운 태극기
I
앞에
pledge in front of 태극기. I pledge in front of 태극기 allegiance to the Republic of Korea for the eternal glory of the country, liberty, and justice.
바로
Rest.
다음은 애국가를
Next, we'll sing the
제창하겠습니다.
national anthem.
애국가는
The national
국방부
anthem will be sung until the
군악대
fourth
성악대의
verse,
선수로
led by the
4절까지
military
부르겠습니다.
choir.
이어서
Next, a moment of
순국선열과
silence
후국
for the
명령에
fallen
대한
heroes
묵념을
and
올리겠습니다.
martyrs.
일동 묵념.
Silent tribute.
바로. 모두 자리에
Please be
앉아주시기 바랍니다.
seated.
전쟁으로 폐허가 되어
The war
다시는
that broke
일어설
out
수 없을
72 years
것이라던
ago
대한민국은
today has taken
글로벌
away
중추
from
국가로
us many things.
문화
However,
강국으로
we have now
발돋움하며
become
세계를
a very
깜짝
strong
놀라게
country
하고
in terms
있습니다.
of many aspects,
모두가 기적이라고
including
했지만
cultural aspects.
그것은 우리 국민의
Many said it
피나는
was a miracle.
노력과
However, this was
참전
possible
용사들의
thanks to the
헌신이
dedication
있었기에
and our
가능했던 일입니다.
endeavors.
기적처럼 자유를 지켜내고
Miraculously, you
대한민국을
have
일군
safeguarded the
참전
Republic of
용사들께
Korea's
바치는
liberty and peace.
지금부터
Here is a
시작하겠습니다.
performance dedicated to all of the war heroes.
The forces from North Korea invaded South Korea. It took Seoul, and Smith Army units came to Suyong Airport. Then the capital was moved to Busan. Incheon landing and recovery of Seoul. The Korean army had to break through the 38th line. The Chinese communist force came in, Jangjinho battle, and Hungnam retreat, and January 4th retreat, recovery of Seoul, armistice agreement, battles, and Pengma Highland battle. Armistice agreement. Safeguard of freedom, peace to be safeguarded. 1945, August 15th, liberation.
새나라의 어린이는 일찍 일어납니다. 부러기 없는 나라 우리나라 좋은 나라. 새나라의 어린이는 서로 돕습니다. 욕심쟁이 없는 나라 우리나라 좋은 나라.
North Korea invaded South Korea on June 25th, 1950, 4 a.m.
참전부대기 입장.
The flags of the units are coming in. The Capital Division, Fierce Tiger Unit. The 1st Division, Advancement Unit.
제2사단
The
모도부대,
2nd Division, Angry Wave Unit.
제3사단
The 3rd
백골부대,
Division, White Bone Unit.
제5사단
The
열쇠부대,
5th Division, Key Unit.
제6사단
The
청소부대,
6th Division, Blue Star Unit.
제7사단
The 7th
칠성부대,
Division, Seven Stars Unit.
제8사단
The
오기부대,
8th Division, Otugi Unit.
제9사단
The 9th
백마부대,
Division, White Horse Unit.
제11사단
The 11th
화랑부대,
Division, Hwanang Unit.
제12사단
The
을지부대,
12th Division, Ulchi Unit. The
제15사단
15th Division, Victory Unit. The
제20사단
20th Division, Decisive Match Unit.
제21사단
The 21st Division, Baekdusan Unit.
해군 제1함대
Navy, 1st Fleet.
해병
Marine
1손사단
Corps, the 1st Regiment.
공군
Air Force, 10th Fighter Wing.
경찰청
And Police Agency.
다음은 대한민국
Next, the flags of the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps
해병대기가 동시에
will make their
입장하겠습니다.
entry at the same time. Please give them a big round of applause.
단단하고 든든한
It was very touching moment to see their proud and imposing appearance. Ladies and gentlemen, please give them a big hand once again. For many years, I buried the memory in my heart and tried to forget it. The war is a trace of the past that could be found in my album of my youth. But that trace was traded with my comrades' blood, and therefore, whenever the memories are retrieved, it never fails to bring back that very day. It has already been 73 years since the war ended. I am now in my 90s, as old as my memory of the war. I was a member of the 8th Division of the ROK Army and was deployed in the Battle of the Kumsong District. My mission was to defend the 690 highlands, which was a geographical ridge. To compete with the Communist Army mobilized by 200,000 men, all we could do was to fight back to the ropes and win tenaciously. A battle in highlands is like standing in the middle of hell, where shells pour down like rain and ant-like enemies swarm. In that hot summer of July, the sounds of shelling and screaming was still hovering around the ridge. The ridge was covered in rows of fragments that were hard to recognize and was colored with blood and tears of my dying comrades. My comrade, get up. Let's go together. When such hell would just echo back, someone started wailing the military song as if it was the fellow soldiers' names. Reliving that time of hell-like war is taking the pledge and hope that we will guard at all costs the country which my fellows protected as they were bleeding to death. This proud Ulji Order of Military Merit worn on my chest is the honor that they have guarded. The unsung fellow soldiers who perished. Not a moment had passed forgetting about them. This old soldier's last wish is to safeguard freedom and peace, so they desperately want it at any cost. So that I wouldn't feel ashamed when I meet them again. My comrade, when we finally get to see each other again, let's pick up where we last left over a Hwarang cigarette. I miss you, my fellow soldier. June 25th, 2022, ROK Army Sergeant Lee Taek-woo. In commemoration of the 72nd anniversary of the Korean War, the Prime Minister will confer a government award to men of merit who participated in the Korean War and devoted themselves to protect the Republic of Korea. The Prime Minister will move to the stage. Today we have 5 awardees in total. Those of you whose names are called, please come up to the rostrum. First, Chungmu Order of Military Merit, the late Lee Young-hun. Certificate of Merit, former 2nd Lieutenant of the 1st Independent Guerrilla Battalion directly under the Army Headquarters, the late Lee Young-hun. The above person served in the Korean War and rendered distinguished military services, and therefore in accordance with the Constitution of the Republic of Korea, the following medal is conferred posthumously. Chungmu Order of Military Merit, June 25, 2022, President of the Republic of Korea. It is conferred to his son, Lee Hyung-gu. Hwarang Order of Military Merit, the late Shim In-seok. The contents are the same. It is conferred to his son Shim Jae-il. Hwarang Order of Military Merit, the late Petty Officer Yoon Jun-gol. The contents are the same. It is conferred to his daughter Yoon Young-bi. Hwarang Order of Military Merit, the late Lee Won-jae, Petty Officer of ROK Army. The contents are the same. It is conferred to his daughter, Shin Young-hee. Hwarang Order of Military Merit, the late Lee Won-jae. The contents are the same. It is conferred to his son Lee Jong-hyuk. This is the end of government medal conferral. Next, the Prime Minister will deliver his commemorative speech.
Fellow Korean citizens and also distinguished war veterans from home and abroad and bereaved families and distinguished guests. Today we mark the 72nd anniversary of the breaking out of the Korean War, and there were many people who fought for the liberty and peace of the Korea, and there were many Korean war veterans as well as UN war veterans, and I extend my deepest appreciation to all of you. For the past long decades, families, you have also been living in the sorrow of losing your loved ones, and my condolences also go to the bereaved families as well. And here today, we also were able to provide our government medal to the late Lee Young-hun, the late Yoon Jun-gol, the late Lee Won-jae, the late Shin Myung-chol. I would also like to once again thank the bereaved families of all of them. And from afar, we also have many distinguished guests, including the Korean War veterans, as well as their families. And on behalf of the Republic of Korea and our people, I extend our deepest welcome and appreciation. Fellow Korean citizens, Korean War veterans, 72 years ago today, the Korean War broke out, starting from the invasion of the North Koreans' communist forces. It has put everything into ashes. And the war lasted for over 1,000 days, and there were 175,000 people who lost their lives. Over 100,000 of orphans were left out, and about 300,000 women lost their husbands. And also more than 3 million people had to leave their homes, and more than 10 million people had to go through the sorrow of being separated with their families. And it has left a very deep sorrow and pain in our hearts. Nevertheless, the people of the Republic of Korea were grand and were very proud. Standing from the ashes of the war, we have rose again. And with those seizes and levers, we have made the miracles here in Korea. We have become an aid recipient country, which it had only about $67 of per capita income. However, we have now become one of the 10th largest economies in the world. And with K-Contents, we are a cultural powerhouse, and our semiconductors and future cars and other high-cut industries, we are a leading power as well. And we also succeeded in our Nuriho rocket launch as well, and we are taking a step closer to beginning our space era.
The history that we're seeing today is thanks to the dedication and sacrifices of the Korean War veterans who were brave enough to come in and join the forces for the Korean War. The Republic of Korea will never forget the heroes' blood that is shed all over the country, and the people who came afar, the youths who came afar to protect a country that they have never heard of. We will never forget their will, and we will try our best to make their dignity justified, and will help their bereaved families, and we will repay their sacrifices. The commemoration for the 70th anniversary of Armistice that will come next year, we will do our utmost in preparing for this commemoration. Fellow Koreans, war veterans, we understand very well, and we will never forget that this defense power is the one that defends the freedom and liberty of Korea. Recently, there were provocations from North Korea, and this is threatening the peace on the Korean Peninsula. And if necessary, we are going to mobilize all the means that we have to bravely and gravely counter the attacks or provocations. And at the same time, we will also put our efforts into diplomatic efforts, and so that we can protect the Republic of Korea as we see today, with freedom and liberty and democracy. And the dedication and sacrifices of the war veterans, that their sacrifices will not go in vain, will be repaid. Once again, we would like to thank, and we would like to engrave in our hearts the bravery and the courage of the Korean War veterans. Thank you very much.
말씀 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister,
우리의
for your
사나이는
remarks.
대한민국을 위해
The mountains and waters of
수많은
Korea are
젊은이들의
fought with the blood and
피와 땀이
sweat
섞여
of
있습니다.
numerous youth who sacrificed themselves for the
소중한
benefit of
뜻을
Korea.
기억하겠습니다.
We will remember their noble will.
말씀처럼
As mentioned by the Prime Minister, we will
희생과
reciprocate with a strong Republic of Korea to cherish their sacrifice and dedication. Next, we will have a commemorative performance. We will watch a video, Peace, the Great Promise, exhibiting our gratitude to the war veterans who protected the free Republic of Korea and the promise of our future generations to continue to safeguard the era of sustainable peace. Afterwards, it will be followed by the singing of the hymn of the Republic of Korea with the people's aspirations for the Republic of Korea to take off again and the dedication to the war veterans. Let us now begin the performance.
벌써 72년이 지났습니다.
72 years have passed. The
역사책에
Korean
나오는
War
지나간 이야기일
is only
뿐이었습니다.
something that I could find in my history textbook. It was the same for me as well. However, we realized new aspects after serving as a member of the veterans group, and the Korean War is the ongoing history, and it is our paying back to these fallen heroes to let the people know about this history. The National Cemetery is where people are laid, and as they lay in peace, we can stand by them, and it is a great honor for us to be able to do that. And we are respecting their last moments here on land, and I believe that this is the best respect. The Marine Corps, during the past 7 decades, we have been exerting our full efforts to safeguard the Yeonpyeong-do Island and succeeding on with the spirits of the fallen heroes. We will safeguard the border area, and we will pay back to your honorable sacrifice. The grandfathers of the war veterans have been safeguarding the country and enabled us to live well. I am still young, so there's nothing much that I can do myself, but I can pay respect with my talents of singing and dancing, and I feel very lucky. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The Army, Korean Army, and the UN war veterans, thanks to your dedication, we are living on the Korean Peninsula, and the freedom and the peace will be safeguarded by us.
오늘 같이 배를 바라보면서 저 희망의 찬새 나라로 전진합시다. 영원하게 빛내 자유무한 역사 영원히 빛나리.
사랑스런 대한민국 국군 용사여 온 세상에 휘날리는 우리 태극기 찬란하게 빛내자 반만년 역사 오위대한 국군 영광 영광 대한민국 영광 영광 대한민국 영광 영광 대한민국
마지막으로 6.25의
Lastly,
노래를
we will now sing the
제창하겠습니다.
memorial song
모두
of
자리에서
Korean War
일어나
in
반주에
unison. Please
맞추어
rise from your
힘차게
seats to
불러주시기
sing the
바랍니다.
song together.
어찌 우리 나를 조국을 원수들이 짓밟아오던 나를 맨주먹 붉은 피로 원수를 막아내어 달을 굴러 땅을 치며 흥분했던 나를 이제야 바쁘니 그날의 원수를 쫓기는 적의 무리 조금도 쫓아 원수의 언어까지 쳐서 울질러 이제야 빛내리
대한민국의 자유와
We
평화를
will take responsibility and repay the noble dedication of the ROK and UN Korean War veterans who have defended the freedom and peace of the Republic of Korea with their lives until the very end. And we will never forget
그럼
but
이상으로
remember.
6.25
With this, we will now
전쟁
close
제72주년
the
행사를
72nd
모두
Korean War
마치겠습니다.
commemoration.
And this is where we have to wrap up the Korean War commemoration ceremony, reminding us that freedom is not free. We'll be back with our regularly scheduled newscast at 12 p.m. Korea time, so do join us then. For now, thank you for watching.